What's up, YouTube? This is a Galaxy M&P9 gel blaster. It is a manual gel blaster, which means every single shot is one rack, and that's it. Now, this one came with, and you can probably see when I rack it, came with a lot of orange bits. And I don't think I ever did a full review on this, but I did paint the orange bits black at one stage. Over time though, with you know, the movement of the trigger like this, rubbing against in here and pressing the button for the mag release, over time the paint has worn in places, and particularly like there's no slide lock on this, so you know, areas where there's movement has gotten a little bit scuffed. Bottom of the barrel there, if you can see it. And for some time there, I don't think there was a blackout kit available, but now there is one. So here it is. Here it is, blackout kit for the M&P9. Okay, so the takedown pin is actually this little thing here. So you just pop that down and pull it outwards like that, and you can see that was one of the orange parts that I'd previously painted. The exterior stayed alright, but the interior going in there obviously scratched up a bit. Now the slide should slide forward and out, and you can see inside there's a lot of the original orange components that I have painted, and over time the moving parts that the paint has actually scratched off. So all those orange bits are the bits that are inevitably going to be replaced, and also we'll be doing the trigger and the mag release down in the bottom half as well. Let's just focus on the top half for now, because that seems the easiest to disassemble. So we remove the main spring here, and the recoil spring. Just going to keep these in shot here, because I think the kit that I have here actually comes with a number of new springs. So the kit's got springs in it, so I imagine I'll be also replacing the original springs with new parts as well. So it's not just blackout, it's like a spring upgrade as well, I believe. There's the blacked out barrel and blacked out plunger unit. Might put a dab of grease in there as well for good measure. The takedown pin, which is up here. There's two springs. Now, I'm not sure which is which, but I'm assuming this is the recoil and that is the main spring. So it appears just by judging the gauge of it. It comes with a new guide rod for the recoil spring as well, so that one was already black. Don't know why they've given a replacement, but, and also a new retainer for the mainspring. There we go. Now the mainspring itself looks about the same gauge, but the recoil spring, I don't know, it could be that it is the same gauge, but this one's just had a harder life and it's compressed a little bit. Anyway, and then I've got also the trigger and the mag release. Set them in reverse, trigger, mag release. They're going to go in the lower half. Alright, so this is a relatively simple procedure. We're just going to replace one for one all the bits that we just took out with the replacement black bits. Very simple. It comes with a barrel and everything already assembled, so I don't have to remove the barrel out of this one. Yeah, everything's already done. It's just a drop-in, literal drop-in replacement. Excellent. Okay, I have just applied a liberal coating of the old school gelblaster grease into the cylinder and plunger there, so that's all nice and lubed. Now we're just going to reassemble in the exact but opposite manner that we assembled. Oh, you know what I mean. Alright. The spring, the recoil spring here is interesting that it's quite a bit stiffer. Well, I don't know if it's stiffer or if just the older one has compressed over time, but it seems to go in. There we go. Seems to go in without any issue. That seat's in its regular seat. All right. Well, that's the top half done. All right. Let's get to the bottom. Alright, so on the bottom half, I'm going to punch this pin out here. It retains the rear of this assembly here. And then there is one Phillips head screw here, which I'll undo. And I hope that most of this assembly should come out. Oh, there is, I worked out what this is as well. This actually has some part in retaining this rear assembly. Not quite sure why, but it does. There it is. Alright, so that's that assembly out. Got the trigger bar here. And it looks like we'll punch this pin here to remove the original trigger. Probably through the top is easiest. And we'll just drop the new one straight back in, and put the pin also straight back in. Nice and easy. Okay, so just make sure the trigger bar goes to its little spot there, and that all the functions work. Interesting, the return function of the trigger is done via the spring on here, so if that's not connected, the trigger doesn't return. See how it just popped out there? Obviously when it's locked into the lower, that can't pop out. But that is that section done. This is quite a simple little task. I'll put that aside. We'll move to the remaining magazine release. Now I don't know if you can see this in here, but there is a spring just there. It's just a matter of popping it out and then sliding the mag release out. There's the spring. We can pop that spring back in. It can just sit in there. And then the new one is just going to slide back in the same way that the old one came out. And then Okay, and now we can just push the spring back into its place there. Just make sure that it hooks up behind that little hook and that it stays in there nice and tight. Make sure that it retains the mag. It's not going to pop out. Easy. Alright, now get that one out of the way and we can pop this assembly with the trigger bar. Don't forget that. Fairly important. Into the lower. Now after looking at this thing, I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be a safety. I feel like this is supposed to be a safety. Like there is... Oh yeah. It does, like the trigger bar does... It does enact on that lever. So if you pull the trigger in that position, it goes all the way. If you put it in the safe position, it does actually enact on that, but I think it's like not enough to actually be properly safe. So it was a nice try, but I don't think it really worked. I don't think that's ever really worked properly, that safety. Pin back in there. And Phillips head back in here. For what it's worth, that whole operation was a heck of a lot easier than painting the parts in the first place. Now we have the upper, slide down onto the frame, just make sure it's all lined up in here. Alright, just make sure everything lines up, and then pop the retainer back in, the new black retainer, takedown pin, whatever you want to call it. See if that safety works. Oh, it does. Kinda. Gotta be like... Yeah. Yeah. It's not a really great safety, but there it is. Okay. Looks a lot nicer now with all the black bits. I suppose we should do a chrono. Why not? We'll do a chrono. Alright, here we go. Guess we've got to prime it a bit. There we go. I'm getting quite a few misfeeds, which is not uncommon for a manual mechanical mag like this. And I may well be out of gel. I don't know, a couple of busted ones in there. Alright, that's probably enough. 130 max FPS, 115 average. There was some very low ones in there from some anomalies, but I'd call that about 125 if we kind of get rid of the low ones. It's not terrible for a manual blaster. I think it could do better, but given that it's manual, it's already a hard spring to cock as it is, so I probably wouldn't want to spring it up any more than that, but is what it is. There you go. Overall, not a bad looking blaster. It's not the highest quality and it's not the best performing, and I probably wouldn't recommend it if you're using it in any sort of competition. You would get tired from racking it every shot, but for plinking around the house, bit of fun, not too bad. Can't say I'd recommend it, but it is a nice little wall hanger, I guess. It's a nice looking piece, especially with the blackout fitted now. It was a bit ugly with the orange. I understand the necessity sometimes, but still looks quite nice now with the black and the tan. I'm going to leave it at that. Nice, quick and easy one. Don't forget, hit me up on FacePage if you want to buy a patch, and if you want to support my channel, you can buy me a coffee in the link down below there. Shout outs to my coffee supporters, shout outs to Rip, shout outs to Adam Hoy, and shout outs to someone else just bought me coffee literally just a moment ago. Splatcat. Shout out to Splatcat. Cheers. Peace.